All right, it's now 8 o'clock. In case you're joining us now, happy Boxing Day, or is it Utamaduni Day? Well, constitutionally, it's not yet been changed, but that's the proposal. And I spoke to a few people, and they kept correcting me and saying it's not Boxing Day, it's Utamaduni Day. So I guess we might as well just get used to it. But yes, it's the 26th day of December 2019. I sure do hope that you had yourselves a great Christmas and still continue enjoying the holidays. Now, I'm going to introduce the panel that we have here this morning, and we just want to talk about finishing strong. But before that, just a quick reminder, if you'd like to if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to send through, particularly maybe for reasons that you'd want to, finish the year strong, the Twitter handles are going to be displayed. You can tweet at KTN Kenya KE, or you can tweet me directly at Michael G. Gitonga. But joining me in studio, we are joined by Dr. Batha Kaimenyi, who's a wellness coach. She's a lecturer at Daystar University in leadership and communication.
Yes,
thank you for joining us, Daktari.
Thank you.
We are also joined by Emmanuel Maruti, who's a consultant at Empower Plus. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Now, I did mention earlier, and I'll start from there, where I spoke to somebody and they mentioned that they would like to finish the year strong. And as I thought about that, my thinking was that the challenge with mental baggage, as they called it, is that it's not something that you can just place down and move on. It requires a bit more than that. And I thought that would be a good place to start. So, Dr. Kaimenyi, how does one ensure that they finish the year strong, despite the fact that it's been a very challenging year?
Thank you very much, Mike, for having me here this morning. This is a great honor. And let me say this, that life is about problems. If life is not hard, what is it supposed to be?
Actually, it will be very boring.
It is challenges that propel us forward. Okay? So whatever happens in life, it is looking at it positively. Because it is through those challenges that we become the best we can be.
Right.
And so to finish strong is reviewing your life, because unreviewed life is not worth living. Most of us don't sit back and look from what happened from January, February, August, and December. We don't look back. We move forward without any direction.
Without any direction.
So it's very important to review your life. Okay? What are those things that happened that I didn't like, or that are not part of my goals? Okay? So that you sit back and look at your life, you detach yourself from what happened. Okay? Because you are not the negative things that happened. That's not what you are. Okay? And so when you look back at what happened, then you are able to know what is it that...
How do I change?
How do I change? Okay? And who are the people who are with me in 2019 that messed my life? Okay? Or because most of the time it's the people we hang around with.
Right.
Okay? It's not
Actually, they say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
That's exactly what it is. Okay? So you analyze your life, you analyze the people around you, and also analyze your mind.
And your mind. And that brings in an interesting aspect. Mr. Maruti, how does one ensure that you analyze your mind? Because maybe what we remember majority of the times is the negative, is the things that didn't work out. We rarely concentrate on what possibly worked out. I mean, just being alive today, that should be something we should celebrate.
Yeah, it's true. Basically, the challenge that we have, we are living in a negative world. And everything around us is full of baggage. And when we concentrate on that, definitely we lose our hope, and we lose our, we lose our concentration on what life is all about. And once we lose track of that, life becomes, useless. So it is basically important for us to, think about what is ahead of us. And that's where goal setting comes in very handy.
Okay, we'll come to goal setting in just a bit. Dr. Kaimenyi, thing is, we sometimes we let life happen such that we are subject to reacting to things as opposed to being proactive. How do we change that? Because one of the things you'll realize is that the reason why we feel we are behind on things is because we are forever reacting as opposed to making things happen.
That is right, that you have said it right, that you command your destiny, okay? You make choices that you shape your destiny.
Right.
And the greatest way to shape your destiny is your mind. In fact, we are told next to God is your mind. Because your mind controls your brain, your mind controls your body, your mind controls everything.
Everything around.
Okay? So if we can think what we are thinking about, so that every morning we start thinking as we wake up, so that you start your day with the right thinking. You start the day with shaping your mind. Because most of the time we don't think what we are thinking about. Okay?
That's interesting. Think about what you're thinking about.
Because you can flow in negative thinking the whole day without taking time. Like I tell ladies, when you go to the bathroom, don't just put on lipstick and, check how you are looking. Also, when you go to the bathroom, think about what you are thinking about. Okay? And change your thinking. So that every day you are renewing your mind. Every moment. There is the old saying, be transformed by renewing your mind. Being transformed by renewing your mind is not a one-time thing that you do in the morning after prayer and then you are gone. It is something you check as you drive. It's something you check you get to the office. It's something you check as you work. Because as you are working, you can be thinking about what you are thinking about. Okay?
Absolutely. And I want to go back to that part, what you've said, and I think it's even found in the scriptures, a good book. Anybody who reads Romans 12, I believe, verse 2 or 1, 2
1
there.
and 2.
1
Be
and
transformed
2.
by renewing your mind.
But how does one change, how do you renew your mind? Because we grow up and it's almost like we are wired to think a certain way.
That's
and
right.
by default, we wake up and think the same way.
That's
so how does
right.
one now short-circuit that thinking, so to speak?
For example, my role in life is to educate people's lives on how to be happy. That's why I teach a lot on wellness. And since personally I want to be a role model for others, I want to be happy. So I wake up in the morning, the house girl maybe has not waken up, so that makes me mad. Then I say, no, this is going to be a happy day. I am going to wake her up and be positive about it.
I'll spoil my day.
So you're not going to spoil my day. So it's not what happens, it's how I react to what happens when I wake up in the morning. And because my mind, I've set up my mind that today is going to be an happy day. There's nothing that will mess up that. Because I've made up my mind. Today is going to be a happy day. If I get to the road and there's traffic, I start singing in the car. Okay? By the way, anytime I sing and I tell God, Lord, remove the traffic, somehow
it happens.
It happens.
Maybe you have some power.
Because you are what you focus on is what you receive. Okay? So if I focus on having a good day, somehow the forces of the universe will help me to work towards that. Yes. So it is what is within me, not what is outside me. Even if things, let's say, and we need to be realistic. If there is a lorry on the road and there is no way, no matter how much amount of singing I make, okay,
that lorry will not move.
It will not move. Then I'll call my boss, or I make things, set things right by telling my boss, I'm on traffic, this is what is happening. And the day ends up well. But if I bang my car, I curse everybody on the road, does that help?
It doesn't help.
Maruti,
how does one ensure that you maintain that positive attitude? Because there are those who will feel that sometimes that's almost living in a world that does not exist. Because there are days you'll agree. There's a saying that when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
And there are days you wake up, your house help, like you say, is late.
Yes.
You go out to the car, you find it has a puncture. It happens to be the day that you forgot to fuel. I mean, things just seem to go wrong one after the other. And as much as you maybe at the point the house help was late, you put up yourself and said, I'm not going to have a bad day. But another thing comes and now it begins to get to you. So how do you keep that realistic?
You must, first of all, anticipate challenges in life. Because challenges are given. And Les Brown says that life is unfair. And it will always hit you. So you have to have that attitude that in case something happens, I was ready for it. When you're not ready for something, when it hits you, you get hurt and you get challenged, and sometimes you lose track of what you're doing. One thing I always do these days is, and I've learned this from Oprah, is keeping a daily journal. Every day in the morning, I read what I'm supposed to do for that day. And every evening,
is that the same as a to-do list?
I will not call it a to-do list, because to-do list is what I'm supposed to do. But a journal is about how my life has been for that day.
Okay.
So in the morning, I plan. This is how my day should be today. So if anything comes my way, I am ready for it, but it should not push me off track. And I carry around a small notebook where I always read it. Whenever something comes my way and I feel like I'm losing track, I go back to my journal, I read it, and I still maintain that attitude. Otherwise, life is really, really tough.
It's tough.
It can hit you really hard.
I like the fact that you say it's unfair by virtue of the fact that if we expect it to be fair, then we end up becoming frustrated.
Yes.
Dr. Kaimenyi, do you think there's a way do you find that there are people who are more positive-minded and others who are tend towards being negative? And what causes that? Is it genetic? Is it our bringing? What is it that causes that?
Yes, that's right. There are some people who are positive and others are negative. And like you rightly said, some of us, the environment we grew up. We grew up with negative parents. We grew up in negative families. We went to schools where teachers told us, oh, you will not amount to anything. So you grew up believing that. But you don't have to live that all your life. You can change that at some point. Decide that I'm going to love myself. Despite what happened in the past, that I'm the destiny of my own life, and I'm going to shape my destiny, and decide to change that. So the fact that I grew up in a negative environment doesn't mean that that's the way my life is going to be. I can change it at some point by deciding that I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to love people around me. So once I start with that environment every day in the morning, and I make it part of my day, and I set my long-term goals, in the next 10 years, the next 20 years, this is what I want to be. So the little things that happen around me, the negativity of politics, of corruption, of jam in the road, those things will not affect me because I have a big picture.
You're focused on something bigger than that.
On a bigger than traffic. This is just for a day. And if it's a way of life on this road, then I change the road. If I use a wind Kodvik, then I start using Gong Road. I find ways to change the situations in my life, but I'm not bogged down by the jam. I'm not bogged down by my house girl. I'm not bogged down by my spouse. If I have a negative spouse, I find a way to live with it because I am the master of my own destiny.
Right.
No, not my spouse, not my children, not my house girl, not my boss. I'm the master of my destiny.
Yeah, and one has to agree that they are their own master.
And I'm my own master. So, and by being my master of my destiny, by the way I've realized, I end up shaping other people's lives. People want to be like me.
You have a positive energy that people want to hang around.
Because my students ask me, Kaimenyi, why are you always having a smile? You know? If I told them the negative things in my life, they don't believe it. This and this have been happening. I lost my dad last year, MBCD, and they say, and you're still positive? Yes, because that's what life is supposed to be. Life is supposed to be happy. You know, and if I'm happy and a happy mind, I am happier, I am healthier, because people who have a happy mind make others happy. People who have a happy mind don't even get sick. There's so much sickness around, and I tell people, love yourself and love others. You'll never get sick.
You'll not get sick. All right, Emmanuel, that's perfect, and we've kind of defined what happens on a daily basis. You have your journal and you have all that, but now we're coming to the end of the year, and there are many people who are going to look back and say, there's this negative thing that happened. I lost a loved one, lost a job, my business maybe went under. There's so many things that one, I'm sure, could look at and say, it's really not where I wanted. And one of the things that really, I think, discourages many is your resolutions. When you look at your New Year's resolutions, now that we're getting to the end of the year, you're like, oh my God, out of maybe 10, I've only done one. How do we ensure that that doesn't bog us down and now get into 2020?
First things first, what I encourage people to do is not to be negative. The only thing I encourage people to be negative is HIV. And if
But
you are
what
HIV
about
positive,
those who are already, it's too late.
yeah, I'm saying if you're HIV positive, then live positively. Meaning everything has to be positive. Secondly, when it comes to resolutions, I'll encourage everyone not to set resolutions because resolutions last a maximum of 14 days. It's been researched and it has been done. Somebody was going to a gym one day and he found the place packed with a lot of cars and people jumping up and down because it was the 1st of January. Right. It was a resolution. I want to cut weight. I want to improve my life. Yes, I want to live healthy. They were up and down. Then the gym instructor told him, don't worry, just come 2 weeks later. He went on the 14th and there was no car and the place was empty. So a resolution lasts a maximum of 14 days. So in the place of a resolution, somebody should set a goal or have a vision and a purpose for them to live a life. Because if you just live an empty life, life becomes
What's the difference
useless.
between a resolution,
a
goal, and a vision?
A vision is an ultimate dream, something that you are here to achieve on earth. Yeah, and that's why they say if you're still here, then God is not done with you. So that is something you are here to do and achieve in life. A goal, on the other hand, is something that you set for yourself and you have a plan to go ahead and do it. A resolution now becomes just a mere dream, just like a wish. I say, I wish I'll cut my weight. I wish I'll have a better family. I wish I'll be smart. I wish, I'll get business. It's a wish. So I'll prefer guys to move from resolution to goal, because goals propel you forward. They turn big mountains into walkable hills, because you can break a big mountain into small goals. Turn it from a year to a month, a week, a day, even an hour. Somebody was saying people who are achieving greatness in life are those who have lived to the minute, whereby you don't say that, tomorrow I'll do this. No, you say, tomorrow at this time, this minute, I will do this. Meaning your time is spread out, and you're not just spending time, you are investing your time.
You're investing your time.
Yes.
Daktari, it sounds normally very nice on paper, but when it comes to the actual doing, the practical side of it, things take a turn.
Yes.
And I know many of us, the end of the year is a perfect time for us to audit.
Right. Yes.
And for us to say, now I want to change my life.
That's right.
But the process, once you've put it on paper, is defined that there's a resolution, which according to what he's saying last 2 weeks, we have goals, then you have the vision. Let's start with the farthest, which is the vision. How does one draw a vision? Because here I am thinking, what really is a vision? I know company visions, I know all those things, but how do I come up with a vision for myself?
How do you come up with your vision for yourself? Like I usually say, we all have an internal compass, the true north of where we are headed. Okay? And so once you realize that you know how to listen, most of us don't listen. The answers of life are within us. Okay? And so once you listen, you know what you feel strongly about life. Because my students ask me, how do I discover my purpose? Look at within you. What is that disturbs you in the world? Okay? If you don't like the unemployment, that's where your purpose is.
Go sort it out.
Yes, go sort it out. When I was growing up, I didn't like the way I saw young people struggling with many issues. And I would tell God, one day I want to be a lecturer to help young people achieve their goals. Today I'm a lecturer.
And here you are.
Okay? So you look out from within you to help you get your true north. Once you get that vision, okay? Once you get your vision, then you come with your goals, how to get there. Then when you know how to get there, then you are able to come up with specific activities for every day. Like he said, you have to live to the minute. Because like he said, you don't just say, I want to change the world. How?
How are you going to do
Come
that?
up with specific activities for every day, specific activities that you evaluate every evening. For example, when I set my goals during the day, and one of the things is to change my mind, so that I have affirmations. I have affirmations of how to change my mind, okay? So that there are things I will repeat in the morning, I will repeat during tea break, I will repeat during lunch hour, I will repeat, and I look at the day. What did I think during today? Okay?
What was my thought process?
What was my thought process in the course of the day? So that the following morning, I start on changing what I did not do well yesterday. So that you are proactive.
You're
You are intentional. I call it intentional thinking. That
All right. Now, you've mentioned that one of the things to find your goal, your vision in life is those things that disturb you. What about somebody who would say there's so many things that disturb me? For instance, you might find that maybe you cannot stand, like you're saying, unemployment, but there's also another thing that
Then
disturbs
change
you.
your job.
How do I
Change.
zero in on the one thing that now becomes my vision?
Like I said, you have a true north within you. And this is where people don't have meetings with themselves. People are in social media, people on TV, people are in meetings. But when do we, and this December, as we face January next year, this is where you take a personal retreat. You know, my former boss, the VC of Daystar, he used to go to somewhere in Anyuki, because I went there one time with my family, and I met the VC of Daystar and asked him, what are you doing here alone? He said, I take a personal retreat beginning of year. Over the years that he ran Daystar, for over 22 years. Because for him to integrate an organization, he needs to retreat.
Absolutely.
Personal
Move
leadership.
away from all the noise.
Move away from all the noise. Go, have 3 days, and I also do that once in a while. Like next week, I want to go from 31st, 1st and 2nd, somewhere on my own, away from my family, away from Daystar, away from the noise.
All the hustle and bustle, and even away from routine.
And away from
Because we have a
routine.
way of doing things
Routine
Yes,
is very
in the
bad.
same environment.
So I'll come up, I'll renew my vision, renew your mind. I'll renew my vision. What has it worked for the last 10 years? For the last 1 year, 2019? How do I want to see 2020, 2030? Where do I see my life? So that now I seal down to every month,
To every month.
to every week, to every day.
Okay. Emmanuel, let me come to you. And
Yes.
one of the things I think that disturb us in life is success. But you learn over time that we live, and I think that's why they say life begins at 40. At 40 is where many people realize that you've been living other people's successes,
That's
not
right,
yours.
yes. True.
So how does one find out and make sure that they get their success early enough so that life doesn't have to begin at 40? It can begin at 30 or even 25, so long as you stick to some of these rules.
That's right.
This attitude of life begins at 40. I'll call it, like madness, where you say you begin at 40, yet you were born 40 years ago. Right now, I'm trying to nurture my son to understand life right now. Because the earlier you understand life, somebody like Miles Monroe found out his vision and purpose at the age of 14. When he read the whole Bible and realized, this is what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to empower the whole world. And he did it because he realized early. So you don't have to begin at 40. You have to begin right now. Yeah? Our visionaries think big. They start small, but they start immediately. They don't start like tomorrow. Like right now, majority of people right now are telling themselves, on 1st of January, that's when I'll start doing this, this, and that. Successful people, when a vision comes into their mind, they start acting on it immediately. Okay? And that's why ACT, as an acronym, stands for Action Changes Things. Meaning when you move, make that bold step, things start happening. But if you tell yourself that I will start doing it next year, I can assure you, by the time next year comes, you will always shift the goalpost. And all successful people have dared to do it. Without all the resources, all the dreams, everything, they just go ahead and do it. And that's why Nike has thrived by that slogan, just do it.
Just do it.
Whenever an idea comes to their mind, they produce
Just do it.
Yeah.
But now let's go back to defining success. Dr. Kaimenyi, how do I define my success? Because what is successful for you may not be necessarily mine.
That's right. And that's why I said, Mike, we all have a true north. To know who we are. And I usually say, when you sit down this year with God, who created you, because we didn't create ourselves, the person who can fix the Toyota properly are the manufacturers. The one who can help us know who we are and what success is God who created us.
Correct.
And that's why I say we have God created us with our heart, our mind, our soul, and our body. So once we put the 4 areas of our lives in perspective and we create a balance in our lives, then we are successful. It's not working on one area of our lives where most of us think success is more and more things, more and more money. So we are living in crowded houses with so many things that we don't use. Because you buy this, you realize I'm not happy. You buy the next thing the next year, you realize I'm not happy. You get a bigger house, it's not making me happy. Okay?
Get a bigger car, still doesn't make you happy. You drive in it alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I tell people, we're in the wellness revolution. And let me tell you, Mike, things that make us happy don't cost anything.
Free. They say the best things in life are free.
Are free. You know, being here, when I was called yesterday, I said, I am going to make Kenyans happy. So I was happy to be here. I would rather have been sleeping this morning, but the fact that I was told to come to KTN, and make
That made
people
you
happy.
And
That's made
there
me
are people who would complain and say, look, I don't want to wake up early on the 26th. Yet it's an opportunity that you don't even know when else it may come.
I didn't sleep. I was awake at 5 to be here.
To be here.
Because for me, I've achieved my goal. I don't have an extra car. I don't have an extra house. But making Kenyans happy
Is what you're
has
made
really
for.
made me happy. And I'm fulfilled today. Okay? So those small acts of kindness, because life is about helping others, life is about making others happy. And Mike, for me, my goal now is to campaign for a love revolution. What we need in this country is not an agricultural revolution, is not an industrial revolution, is not an employment revolution. What we need is a love revolution. When we care for others, for the poor, for the helpless, then we make a happier country. Kenya will be happier because when we love others, when the governor's goal is to make the county happy, when the MPs go is to make sure everybody in my constituents is happy by helping meet their goals. That MP will be happy, that governor will be happy, and the whole country will be happy.
And the constituents will be happy.
So I'll not spend more on myself, buying bigger cars, taking from others for myself, and it's not making me happy.
It's not making you happy at all.
And
If
that's
anything, it
why,
actually makes you
in fact,
worse.
Mike,
Takes you worse.
we need to have a seminar for all these CEOs and governors in this KTN, so that everybody know what love is and how to love yourself and to love others. The minute we start campaigning for a love revolution, because one president of the US said, every generation needs a revolution. We had the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the information revolution. Now we need a love revolution.
A love revolution.
That's what
All right.
Kenya and Africa needs.
Okay, we'll come back to the love revolution, but let me come to you, Emmanuel. Goal setting, which is something you talked about. Walk us through goal setting, effective goal setting, because I know many of us probably know that. Take a pen and paper. Even the Bible tells us, write down your vision that all who read it may run with it. So writing down will write down. But how do I make sure that my goals are set, number one, and number two, that they're effective?
Okay. First of all, we need to understand our purpose in life. Why were you born? That should be the first question you should ask yourself. Everybody comes to this earth. We didn't apply to come here, but here we are, meaning we are loved by God, and He gave us a chance to make a difference in this society. So it is up to us to think of what we can do that can make a difference. From there, that's where now all the other things come in. First of all, it has to be about the whole universe. What are you going to do to improve this universe? Once you understand that, then you come down to the several levels. Financially, how will I improve my finances so that I can achieve my goals? Go to your family. How will I have a working and functional family? How will I improve my life? And how will I enjoy living with the people who are close to me? The third area is about your career. Yeah? Look at your career. This is where I am. For example, I have this job. Right now, I'm a consultant. How will I become the CEO of this organization? How can I improve what I do? Because without value, you cannot get anywhere. From there, go to, what do you call it? How you can leave a legacy. Legacy is very important. And many people have left that because they don't know that each and every person can leave a legacy in life. Because if you tell yourself that I am just a useless person, I am weak, I am poor, I can't do anything, you'll be shocked. You can get somebody who is poorer than you, and you can help that person and change their life. So once you understand those key areas, now you go down to break them down. Look at yourself from the 20th year. Right now we're going to 2020. Look at yourself 2040 and dream about it. What is beautiful about dreaming is it doesn't cost anything. Yeah? You don't have to, you don't have to pay anything for you to dream. So you have to dream big dreams. I love people who think biggest. And it is for free. Think about something great you can achieve. Think about that big house you can own. Think about that great position you can have. Think about how your family will be happy living together with you. Think about that big check you receive. And also look at the kind of change you'll make in this universe.
All right, Dr. Kaimenyi, well put, and there are many things there. Think about the big house, think about your vision needs to be huge.
Yes.
And sometimes we actually draw excitement out of that vision just by imagining. And like he says, it's free. And when you imagine yourself, you know, going from country to country on holiday, as a, whatever that it is that makes you happy. However, the challenge with that is because you might get there and find that the true north you're talking about is not in that car. It's not in that big house.
Exactly.
It's not in that big job.
Exactly. Yes.
How do I ensure that I am not aiming for that big house, but lose the plot on the way, such that now when it comes, I suddenly realize actually it doesn't make me happy.
And that's what I said. Your role is to love your neighbor as you love yourself. For me, that's the theme of my life. Okay? And so as I love my students, all these other things, and I tell my students, you know, when you have a goal to change the world, to change society, to make people's lives better, you stumble on riches. You know, when this guy wanted to connect people on Facebook, Mark he did not set out to be the richest young man in this generation. But because he wanted to connect the whole world on Facebook, he became very rich. So your goal is not for the material things. Your goal, how can I have an idea to create more employment? I want to employ 1,000 Kenyans this year, 2020. Once you say you want to create to employ 1,000 Kenyans, then as you help come up with your business to do that, you automatically become rich. You know, because even Bill Gates did not set out to be one of the richest men in the world 13 times in a row. All he wanted is to work with computers. And in the process of helping people work with computers, he became rich. And that's why I tell MPs and MCAs, your role is to help that person get a better hospital, to help that person get better places to put their kiosks. You know, it is to help these children who are not going to school. They don't even know what a laptop is, you know, how to get a better education. As you help others, let me tell you, your riches will increase.
They'll increase.
Yes,
true. All right.
That's automatic.
Emmanuel,
there's no way you can change people's lives and you are left the way you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you found your purpose.
Yes.
We are just about to wind up, but Emmanuel, give me practical steps of how I'm going to wind up 2019 and start 2020. Practical.
A practical way to end this year is, first of all, to face the reality. Once you face reality and you tell yourself, you know, have a meeting. I call it mirror time. Mirror with M-E. Yeah? So you go, sit and look at that mirror and ask yourself, how was my 2019? Look at the things you've achieved. List them down. Look at the things you have not achieved. Look at the challenges you faced. And look at the opportunities that were, you know, they came to you and they begged for an opportunity. And you left them. And say, I lost this, I gained this. Then after that, then look at 2020. The advantage with life is we are given time in equal measure. Every person receives the same amount of time. And these days, every morning I call it 1440, a gift of 1440, meaning those are the minutes I have for that day. And once you understand that 1440 is bigger than 24 hours, you start seeing the juice in life. So sit down with yourself and tell yourself, what can I do from now henceforth so that 2020 can be better? Because when it starts, we will be all at the starting point together.
At the same time.
At the same time, same place. We are starting a race. So what are we going to do? First of all, think about what success is. I like what Al Nightingale uses as a definition of success. It is a realization of a worthy ideal. Meaning, if you realize a worthy ideal, you have succeeded. When you start chasing money, the money will run away from you. But when you start making a difference, the money will run towards you.
It comes to you.
It comes to you.
So, it is key for you to sit down, write down what you want to achieve, step by step, and tell yourself that, you know, it is not the how that is important. What you must achieve is the most important. The how will take care of itself. Once you realize that the how is not your job to do, it is what God and the universe is supposed to do, that's when your journey begins.
Okay. Dr. Kaimenyi, your practical steps to winding up 2019 and getting into 2020.
Yes, like I said, love yourself and then love your neighbor. And I'll give an acronym that is very easy to remember. Self. Self is that as you end this year and start next year, decide to love yourself. And this S means sleep. We're in a generation that's very irritated. People are very anxious because they're not sleeping. People are on
And to
social
that, I'll
media.
say amen.
You know, because, and Mike, the way we sing behind the mirror, that I'm glad you're going to have some rest after this session.
Yes.
You know, in fact, research is telling us today, sleep is your powerhouse. Okay? When you sleep, you are rejuvenated, your cells are renewed when you have enough sleep, depending on your age. You know, people like us who are getting into our 50s, you must have 8 to 9 hours of sleep. You know, that's how you achieve your goals. Then E is exercise and eat well. Okay? I cannot overemphasize that you can never achieve your goals in 2020 or 2040 if you're not taking care of your body. So you must sleep and exercise. E. L is love. Okay? Love, in a love revolution. Love yourself and love others. Accept who you are. Accept that you are not your mistakes. You know? Accept that you are not the negative environment around you. Okay? So accept yourself. Okay? Love yourself. And F is forgive. Whom do you start with? Forgive yourself first. The things that didn't work, the things that happened in the past, you are not your past. You are your future. So forget what has happened, what you did not do right, and forgive also others. Okay? Your parents hurt you, your family hurt you, your colleagues at work hurt you, forgive them.
Forgive them.
And move into 2020, having forgiven everybody. And so when you love yourself, then you're able to love others and you're able to change the world. Because you are here to make a difference. Like I want to support what my brother has said. We are here to change the world. We are here to leave this world a better place. But it starts by loving ourselves, what I call personal leadership.
Okay.
Okay?
Right. Emmanuel, we are out of time. I'll give you an opportunity for your closing remarks. And if you'd like to wish people out there a Happy New Year, you have an opportunity to do that. Just your closing remarks and, your closing remarks.
What I would say is 2020 is a gift. 2020 comes full. So it is up to us to take the best out of it. You know, because it comes like a jar full of candy. All the opportunities are in there. It is up to us to get in and get the best out of it. Yes, we will receive some bad things out of 2020, but when we focus on the good things that you're going to get out of 2020, we can make our lives better. Let us forget about the politics around us. Let us forget about all negativities around us, all the challenges. Let us know that they are good. And if we don't face any problems, then we should know that we're in trouble. God gives you a challenge so that he can better you. And he believes in you when he gives you any opportunity or any challenge.
All right. Dr. Kaimenyi, your closing remarks?
Yes, my closing remarks is that please, this 2020, learn to love yourself, have enough sleep, exercise, eat well, love yourself, and forgive others. And so please also sit down and come up with the practical activities for those goals that you set. Those things will not happen by just dreaming and thinking about them. They will happen when you set specific targets on how they are going to be achieved and are evaluating your life every day, every week, every month. And so I love you and God loves you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bertha Kaimenyi, who's a wellness coach, also a lecturer at Daystar University in leadership and communication, and also Emmanuel Maruti, who is a consultant at Empower Plus. Thank you for joining us this morning, and I take this opportunity to also wish you a Happy New Year and enjoy the rest of your holidays.
Thank you,
All right.
Mike. Thank you so much.